We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Moinuddin Soap, where ordinary life experiences paves the way for future generations.
मेरो पढ्ने बानी सानैदेखि नै बस्यो। स्कुल कलेजको कोर्स बुक होइन तर बाहिर किताबहरू। सुरु गरे मैले बाल पत्रिकाबाट, त्यसपछि बिस्तारै नोभेलतिर बढ्न थाले। त्यहाँ थुप्रै कुरा लेखिएका हुन्थे जसमा म कहिले कसको कथा पढिरहेको हुन्थे भने कहिले अरू कसैको। भिन्न भिन्नै किताब अनुसार भिन्न भिन्नै कथा र कथाभित्र पनि अनेक रमाइला अथवा नरमाइला यानि मनलाई चस्काइदिने खालका कथाहरू। अब यो त भयो मेरो कुरा। आज मोइनुद्दिन सोमा हामी माझ अर्कै एकजना व्यक्तित्व हुनुहुन्छ। उहाँ पिलग्रिम्स बुक्सको पब्लिक रिलेसन म्यानेजर हुनुहुन्छ र किताबसँग उहाँको सानैदेखि सम्बन्ध गाँसिएको छ। आउनुहोस् न आज हामी उहाँको जीवनको कथा पढ्न खोजौँ न। सायद केही रमाइलो कुरा सिक्ने पो हो कि। हामी माझ हुनुहुन्छ एलिजाबेथ तिवारी। एलिजाबेथजी, स्वागत छ तपाईँलाई मोइनुद्दिन सोमा।
Thank you, Moin, for inviting me here. It's my pleasure being here.
Please tell us something about your childhood, or how was your nature?
Out of 4 sisters, I was the third sibling, and I was very mischievous like any ordinary child, whereas I was really loved by my grandmother. I was very young when I was sent to a residential school, so I did not have much of a time to spend with my own family, but whatever time I had was beautiful.
Please tell us about your schooling days.
I was very lucky to go to Krishnamurti school, which is very nature friendly at the outskirts of Varanasi, and I would really want to thank my school for grooming me internally. The whole internal development took place in between my teachers from that school, between my friends, and of course with the nature which surrounded the school itself.
You have already talked about your schooling days, so can you please talk about your college days?
I went to MS Ramaya, Bangalore for my hospitality studies ahead. That is the place where I was groomed more in the outer level. That is how to carry myself, how to speak. It was more to do with how to deal with the corporate world. So I'm very thankful to my college on that behalf.
So how were you academic wise?
Academic wise, I was not very sound. When it came to maths, I could not relate myself with the numbers. But I was really good when it came to literature, history, poetry, anything which was not logical but illogical was my interest. Yeah.
Were you active in any extracurricular activities while at school or at your college?
I was blessed as I was not that great with academics. At least I was very good with sports, dance, poem writing. So, that was my plus point, and I was sports captain for consecutive 4 years. I was very keenly interested in different forms of other sports like badminton, volleyball, handball. So yeah, I think sports really gave me a name.
You said dancing. So which form of dance do you love doing?
I think I love more of a folk dance, like you know these different little states from India, and they have their own for like Gujarat might have its own Garba, Rajasthan might have its own style, Punjab. So I like more of folk rather than to do with Western or something. But I'm intended to learn contemporary now, yeah, a different form.
We have heard that you will be going to India and you will be learning a dance. So can you please talk about that? What kind of dance are you planning to learn?
This whole decision that all of a sudden I wish to go and learn dance is at the age of 30 I've decided to follow my passion. That doesn't mean that I'm giving up on my book career. Of course it's there, but I am going to take small break and just live for my own self, follow my passion. Yeah, this time I'm planning to learn contemporary and by one of the really famous choreographer, Terence Lewis. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
What has been the best satisfying moment in Pilgrims?
I think my everyday spent in Pilgrim is like a healing session for me. It's a learning session for me because while I'm sitting at the bookstore, I can read. Second, I can meet different people which I enjoy thoroughly. And third, of course, yes, financially I'm dependent on it. So it serves everything.
Tell me about your family.
Well, I would say that I'm very blessed to be born to Mr. Ramanand Tiwari, my father, and Pushpa Tiwari, my mother. And what really makes it special is that their love for books, and somehow we also fell in love because we came through them. And I have four siblings, only daughters, where my eldest sister, she is a environmental engineer in US. She did her PhD. And my second sister, she is a trained Bharatanatyam dancer and a trained Montessori teacher based in US itself. And then me, I am coming from hospitality industry, now working as a bookseller. And Kahani did her master's in business administration. So I'm very thankful to my parents that they really made sure their daughters are educated.
Which is the best relation that happened to you?
Best relation that happened to me, I would say my sister Kahani. She is actually my soul sister. She has been there with me in all ups and downs. She has never been judgmental. So she has been a true friend in my journey of life. And second best relation that happened to me was my own son Siddhartha, which gave me a different name as a person, which was as a mother.
What difference does it make to come from a family that does not have son?
I think it does not make any great difference. I would again say that it doesn't matter if a family has a son or a daughter. It's more about when kids are young and how parents raise them. If in the initial stage they are given good values, good sanskar, the outcome's gonna be a good female child or a male child. So I think it's more to do with how you raise your kids rather than focusing on the sex of the child. So this is my concern.
Do you feel there is any difference created by society in the relation to male and female gender?
Well, when it comes to society, I think people will always have their say, and it won't match with your level of thinking. So in that term, I would say you should actually empower your kids from the very beginning that they are not less than anyone. Their actions should speak louder than what other people are speaking, So that is where they can actually, people understand that they are special and no equality is actually needed. They are unique and they are special in their own way. I guess there will always be distraction from the outer level. But a child has to have this confidence of being unique and beautiful from within. Doesn't matter if it's a male child or a female child. Challenges lies for both the sexes. I would put it that way. So I won't be biased on that. It is more to do with your inner confidence and how we raise our kids again rather than focusing on what people have to say outside.
What are the struggles that made a big difference in your life?
Basically, I will put it this way that, there are deep, painful struggle. People are going outside. If you read news or you see the news channel, my struggle is nothing. But if at all you're asking, I would put it this way that, there was a time when a lot of things happened at the same point. That was, I became a new mother. 11 May and 16 May is when I lost my bookstore completely into the fire, and 25th May I was separated from my husband. So that was quite a difficult time, if you have to see physically because I was a new mom, financially because my store was gone, and emotionally because my better half was not with me at that point. But it's over now and time has healed everything and I have moved on. Basically, I would put it that way that every struggle comes into your life to actually teach you something. And if the lesson is learned, the whole mission is complete. So I would take it that way.
What are the hardships a single mother goes through in your experience?
Well, I'm a single mother, so I have experienced the hardship. I think being a single mother, one of the hardship I would really want to focus is the emotional part. Where if a child is being raised by a single mom or single dad, one parent love is there with the child, but it's always beautiful if you have a additional love coming from a second partner. For the child growth it's better. Second, financially, of course, one parent earning and child is dependent on that. Of course, it's one dependency, but if both parent financial support is there with the child, I think the opportunities are better for the child. Socially, of course, with our Asian mindset, especially when I'm talking about India and Nepal, when it has to deal with single parenthood, I would put it in a way, there are few people who understand, that It does happen. Sometimes there are single parents, but there are few people in the same society, and they would take it in a very adverse way and give a very unusual feeling. So that is where the society plays a role and would actually cause a lack of confidence in a child.
So where is your Johnny heading as a single mother?
I don't know about other single mothers, but I have been very lucky to have a very supportive family and a very beautiful soul who came to be as my son Siddhartha. I think my life is beautiful. Not just for single mother, maybe for people who are together, still life might be hard for them also. It's all about having a positive outlook towards life, and I choose to focus more on positivity in the midst of storms. So for me, life is beautiful. I have no complaint.
So the Johnny is really fine.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. I'm very happy, and so is my son.
You are handling so many things at once, like running a business as well as handling a cute small baby along with household chores. So how are you managing it?
Managing a business is a necessity for me, one. And second, I love my job. Third, managing my house is something a woman loves. And when it comes to a child, oh my God, believe me, it's the most beautiful journey a woman or a man can go through, is raising a child and serving and giving a child, nurturing him day by day and seeing him becoming a fine independent boy. So I think I wouldn't take it as a struggle. Some days I get tired and I would want a break, but still I think at the end of the day it's worth it. When you see a child smiling and your staff and your customers happy and your house all ready with good food and a clean place, I think it works out well.
Don't you think raising a small baby is a tough job?
It takes a lot from you. It takes a lot of patience from you. But then you also remember that child will grow one day and he will become an independent boy. It's not gonna be like this forever. And what you are getting today, you might not get tomorrow. So I think you should just be in a moment, give your best. It's hectic, but it's okay. It's perfectly fine. It's teaching you a lot also, and it's giving you so much in return, which is worth it. So I think you just have to see a positive part in that struggle also. It makes it more easy.
So what do you think that you're getting?
I think while I got Siddhartha, I learned patience. I became a better person. I got more organized, and I learned how to manage time, how to become a smart mother, how to become a smart worker. Yeah, so I think there are a lot of plus points rather than just having some hectic times. It's not a big deal.
I think this is going to be an important as well as tough question for you. What is Siddhartha to you?
Siddharth for me, I don't know, usually people say mothers are the guru, the first guru, but I think for me my Siddhartha is my guru. I have a very emotional connection with him. Siddhartha came into my world when my whole life went upside down, and somehow this little baby cannot speak, which is little totally dependent on me, but actually somehow in his silence, in only his presence, could have made so much of positive difference in my life. So I think he is totally my guru. A lot I have learned rather than what I have given.
How did you manage getting strong in all those sort of difficult situations?
First of all, I had become a very new mother. So my whole energy was actually intact with the child, and my family was going through a very hard time because of the fire of the whole bookstore which turned into ashes. So I had to give them also mental support, and within my own heart I was struggling with the separation. So that is something I went through Brahma Kumari. I started reading a lot of spiritual books, keeping myself more busy with reading, and slowly and slowly, I even don't know when I was healed, and just today I'm a different person, and those bad days looks a very easy days now. It's all matter of time, I guess.
What do you think life is?
For me, life in every sense is, I think life starts when you take birth. Life for me starts when the day you are born. And as the time passes by, as you grow, you learn new things. And it's also a journey of unlearning things that's not needed. It's both learning and unlearning. They go hand in hand. So it's about making new sanskara, new way of thinking, new habits that is healthy and that serves mankind and is more focused with love than the hatred. It's about more learning to be more constructive than being more destructive. So for me, life is just a school where you come, you learn, you unlearn, and then you pass out.
Has life given you more of a lemon, or are you using that lemon to make a lemon juice?
I think when you're born to this world, to this so-called earth, you have good and bad experience both. Sometimes it's sugary, sometimes it's not that great. But you know what? Always remember that the incident that happens in our life is sometimes not, mostly not in our control. But we always have a choice how to react to a situation, right? So in that way, I think no matter how lemony is the situation, I make sure that I add sugar to it so that it becomes yummy. So that's my outlook towards hardship in life.
What makes you take life in a positive way?
I think you cannot expect, every dish to be in your plate. So I think you should focus more on the dishes that you have in your plate and not just focus more on things that's not there. So I think acceptance make life easy. I think a person who holds a positive outlook, no matter how the bad the situation is, but if he's focusing on the single positivity, then that would help overcome rest of the negativity. So I think in every situation, life gives you a chance to focus on that one positivity and your life will turn out to be positive.
How do you define divorce in 21st century, where it is becoming very common?
Look, separation in every sense is very painful journey and I would pray that no soul should go through it. But always remember time heals everything. So every people have a chance to overcome it and move in their life. In my view, separation is never beautiful. Separation can be very painful. But there is one truth also that time heals everything. So it teaches people to move on, right? But I would rather say if people can make more effort, more constructive energy towards, continuing with the relation, and if at all it doesn't work out, don't be destructive. Just have this mutual consent that you guys are not rising together. So part in a beautiful way, in a very humanly way, with good exchange of energy and good understanding. And make sure that you have that understanding, that smoothness, touch of humanity, even after you leave each other's path. Secondly, why it's becoming common in 21st century? I guess it's more of expectation, more of focus on ego, which is a big illusion. I think the present life is also very demanding. The outer life, the inner struggle of people have become more challenging. So yeah, relationships are challenging these days. Let it be today or let it be olden days. It's not something to do with only 21st century. Separation used to take place long back also. So I think in every marriage, in every union, there is a choice of separateness and there's a choice of being together. I would only say that please choose to be more constructive, to be more together and compromise for the sake of love.
What is compromise?
For me, compromising is not a negative word. When you actually stop feeding your false ego and you actually get to the root that is love and you start feeding it, and because your focus is love, you don't mind bending down for the sake of the relationship, for the peace in the relationship. But when you start focusing on the ego, you tend to be this, very stubborn, standing there, not ready to bend. I think it's rather to compromise for the sake of love, for keeping the relationship healthy, happy, rather than just standing like a stubborn man there, and losing everything.
Divorce is a mutual decision between two people. Does it need mother or father who are devoid of child custody not to play a role in child's life?
I think I'm totally against that. The moment you divorce, these are two mature, wise people making a decision that they want to separate, right? They are mature enough. But there is this child in between them, which is a creation of both, right? So I think when you separate as partners, actually you don't divorce a child. You are parent the day the child has born. So I think you should have integrity to no matter what, no matter with whom the child is. But you have to make sure time to time you go and give that time, that loving energy to nourish that child. Because the inner development will be better strong if the child is raised by both the mother and the father. Yes, I think both are needed. That is where I say even after separation, why constructive attitude is needed. Fine. Two people separated, there's a child, right? Time to time and again, both people can actually give that loving input towards the child so that the root of the child is strong, So I think both are responsible and divorce doesn't make you less parent. You continue to be a mother and father of the child.
as man and woman both have become bread earners and they have to manage household responsibilities at the same time. Has it led to more divorce rate?
I would put it in this way that yes, the present era is very demanding. Single-handed earning cannot run the family show. So both male and female out of marriage go out and work. And secondly, woman has also, has dreams that she also wants to come out and be creative and prove herself. Well, in this particular scenario, I would say if both are making so much of extra effort, I think more understanding is needed. Because on a humanity ground, in olden days, it was more easy because house was taken care by the woman and the male was taking care of the outer part. But now when they both go to work, I think there needs to be more humanly understanding that, there's an extra load. So maybe a dose of love needs to be enhanced and that can safeguard the relationship and not lead to divorce actually. And one more thing I would love to put is that, the man is trying to become a superman. He's just misled by the ego, and he wants to overpower the woman. Whereas the woman in this era is trying to be a superman and she wants to get in equal terms with the man. But they both don't understand that they're unique in their own way. A man as a man being more masculine, whereas female with, her beauty having the feminine nature in her. So I think when these two species won't try to compete and will be happy as nature has made them, I think it won't lead to any conflict. I think they both have to learn to be more comfortable in their own skin rather than try to copy each other in some way. So that would make it a healthy society and community.
How do you define anger that takes place between couples?
First of all, anger is not a very natural emotion. As a child when we grow, mama would say, मेरे को गुस्सा आ रहा है, right? So it's just an unnatural habit that has been inbuilt. So first of all, I would say it's not natural. Love is the first emotion that is very natural. So if at all there is a situation where outcome is like getting offensive or getting angry, I think the better choice is to replace it with love. Be more constructive. So I think then there wouldn't be any fight between husband and a wife. Even when there is a situation that is little, hot, aggressive situation, I think in that particular situation also we have a choice to react it in a more aggressive way or in a more assertive way or in a more constructive way. So we always have a choice. So whenever there is a fight between husband and wife, let's say in this case, I think we should just choose the path which can actually make the whole situation calm down rather than making it more of a blunder.
Will you marry again?
Well, look, I have not closed door for love or marriage in my life, but I think this whole journey after separation is a journey with my own self. I think this is the very first time I'm learning to love my own self, giving time to my own self, right? And I'm so busy as a mother even that I don't have time for relationship because they also take time. So I think in life you should never say no to anything. Let's see how life unfolds itself, but I don't mind aging, being single, because I think it's beautiful to be the best friend to your own self, having more free time to talk to your own self, following your passion, being more, more free, So there's a lot of plus point of being single. I've tasted both and they both are amazing. Love is beautiful. Trust me, I still believe in love. But to again try into a commitment and love, I think I will take my own good time, and whenever life wants it, he will be standing there and I will be with him.
Many listeners are listening to this show, and there are people who were married and now they are divorced. Also, there are people who might be planning to get divorced, and there are general people as well. What would you like to say to these three different people?
It's perfectly fine if you feel that two people are not growing as person and you want to change your path. But please, whenever you change your path, make sure that you leave each other on a good note. Because if you go broken from here, you might end up being broken ahead with some new partners. So it's more that you have to learn here to choose love and being more human towards each other rather than, focusing more on hatred.
those who might are thinking to get divorced?
See, separation is the worst curse and the most painful thing two people who are in love actually go through. So I would rather say give your 100% without being prejudiced, without being judgmental to your marriage before you take such a big step. And if still you feel that it's not working, it's perfectly fine. But again, leave each other on a good note, on a humanitarian term, be kind to each other.
To the general listeners who are listening you right now,
Commitment is a big term and it's a big emotion in a person's life. So before you do that, make sure what you are getting into it, and don't feed your ego, but actually always remember the root, that is love, and make every decision, everything you do based on the love.
I have asked so many questions to you. Now, I will ask you only 2 questions. According to you, what kind of person is Elizabeth Tiwari?
I think Moin, you should answer that. It's very difficult to answer this, but well, me as a person, I think I'm still a baby in my heart, and I don't know. I have become 30, but I still feel like a girl who is 3, and I still want to go ahead, explore this world, meet new people, understand world and life with a different dimension. I just believe life is beautiful.
what else do you want to explore?
I think it's more to do like the lesson that's still meant to be learned. Life's gonna guide me in those paths. So I think it's gonna be wonderful ahead.
So what do you want to say to those who are listening to you right now?
All I want to say is that, if you have a perspective that life is long, it might look very long and tedious and tiresome. But if you see with this perspective that life is very short, you never know till what time you are here. Just make sure you make a difference to this world, not in a materialistic term, but make sure that whenever you were here in this earth, you gave love and you helped someone. It should be more of giving than taking. And remember, the more you give, more happily you leave this world. And whenever you come back, I'm sure that world will give you better, because there is law of karma. What you give is what you get. So just be kind, give love in order to get love. That's what I want to say.
Thank you so much for coming and sharing your views on Moinuddin sir.
Thank you, Moin, for having me here, and even having trust in me that I can inspire many people out there. I'll remember you always, that you made me feel so special. Thank you so much, and taking me through my own life journey, and even asking those questions that I even don't ask myself. So during our interview session, I think I got many answers while talking to you. Thank you so much.